So hi everyone, we are live now. I can see people are still joining, so let's give it just another 2-3 minutes to make sure everyone has time to get in. So let's wait for a few more people to join.
Yes, hi everyone. And I'm really happy to see you all here. Thank you for joining the webinar. Yes, I think as Pavlo said, this is perfect moment to pour yourself something to drink, like some coffee, tea, and get comfortable.
Nice. I guess while we are waiting, Daria, how are you? What's the biggest thing you are trying to figure out at work right now?
Thanks, Pavlo. I'm pretty good, very busy, honestly. I think we all are in the same boat right now. So AI, everything about AI. And that's why the biggest thing I'm trying to figure out right now in the work is how to implement AI in my design process in, practical way. So to optimize some repetitive tasks, to have more time for high value stuff, researching, testing, ideation, and other stuff.
It sounds really familiar to me, and honestly, that's exactly on topic for today's webinar. I'm in a very similar situation because in a product like with a large audience, no detail is very really small. Speed matters, but it's even more important not to sacrifice quality. I guess you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
All right. Let's check. Let's get started. First, a quick technical check. Please type plus in the chat if you can see and hear us clearly. Okay, let's check. Okay, nice.
Yes, I think I can see a bunch of pluses right now.
Mhm.
So we are good to go.
Perfect. I guess we can move forward to our topic of our webinar. Is AI-driven UI/UX delivering faster than your competitors in 2026? Honestly, in simple terms, how to use AI in a way that helps you move faster, make decisions with more confidence, and show up stronger than your competitors. Today, we not here to talk about trend just to sake of trends, We will focus on how to genuinely speed up UI UX work without sacrificing quality.
Yes, and to be more specific, I would like to add that by the end of this webinar, you will have a clear understanding of where AI actually can save the time in UI UX, a sense of which specific processes are worth to implement in your everyday process right now, and also you will have few practical advices, approaches, so you can start implement them as soon as tomorrow.
Perfect. Sounds like a plan, So let's officially introduce ourselves. My name is Pavlo Savchenko. I'm a lead product designer at LinkUp ST and an 11-time Red Dot winner, specializing in product design for mobile and web. I worked across a range of roles and tech products, and I have been in industry for over 8 years, working from real estate, fintech to complex CRM systems. Right now, I'm working on a big product with around 80 million monthly users. And there is a daily challenge for me how to take it better, faster, and without compromising quality.
Thank you for introduction, Pavlo. And my name is Daria. Happy to see you here again. So I'm as well UI/UX designer at LinkUp ST and also project lead with almost 6 years of experience. I started as a graphic designer. That's why I bring strong visual foundation with myself. And over the times and years, I have worked across a bunch of variation of products from simple landing pages, crazy startups, engaging mobile games, to more complex and difficult management systems. I would like to emphasize that in my work, I'm very hands-on. So I really care about results. I love working closely with the clients because usually it is the best place where idea happens. As well as Pavlo, because of this kind of approach of designers in the capacity, so some of my projects and works have been recognized with a Red Dot Award, A Award, design Behance featured, and so on.
I wanted to mention that Daria in our company is UI superstar. And by the way, at LinkUp ST, We are recognized by three of the most prestigious names in global design: the Red Dot Award, the Webby Award, and the AI Design Award. And what makes this especially rare is that LinkUp is one of only like three companies worldwide that holds all three of these major UX awards under one roof. That's really proud. Also, if at some point during the webinar you realize you would like to talk through your own case, feel free to reach out. You can find CTA form, it's right below. Leave your contact details anytime, and we will reach out after the webinar. We are really happy to jump on a call and discuss it together.
Yes, and also to be more interactive, like we don't want to be one-way talk. So that's why let's have a quick poll right now. So we can gather your feedback during this webinar. And in your chat, you will have somewhere the question, have you already implemented AI in your everyday workflow? So basically, it will have three answers, and you can feel free to answer the truth, because we appreciate the truth.
Yeah, please select. It's really important for us to understand. All right, quick agenda so you know exactly what you are getting today. We will start with AI for UX heavy lifting, automating research audits and the groundwork that usually slows teams down. Then we will go into rapid prototyping, fast feedback, early validation, and quicker signals on the product market fit. After that, we will accelerate the design to development handoff with Figma MCP. And to finish, we will cover how to scale marketing output with AI-assisted content generation, because shipping faster also means communicating faster. Cool. Everyone's in and everything working. And yes, we said no hype, so here it is. AI in UI UX today is not like a wow factor. It's more about business advantage. Ship faster and validate cheaper. Not like pretty screens in 5 minutes, but speed to trust. Does this solve a real user problem or not? Because the market rewards the teams that learn fastest and play the right bets first.
Yes, and let's try to outline how the traditional process worked, and maybe in some project it is even reality. For some project this is past habits, but let's see what we have and what is the biggest difference between 2025 and 2026. So how it was before, we can see research, wireframe, design, development, handoff, and I can say that we even skip some of the steps, so it will be even more longer, because some of guys do high fidelity wireframes, prototype, and even after all of that, development. And by the time in this stage, you finally can find out that it didn't work, but you have already paid all prices for the whole this process, for the whole this circle. So what we have now in 2026, what ability and possibility we have. So today we can do this in more smarter version. So we can take the idea, we shape the hypothesis, we build the core functionality architecture very fast, and do rapid prototyping. And only after having the feedback from the user, we invest into polished design and polished development.
Perfect. It's a nice point, nice you to understand what is going on. And I guess let's start with the first topic, using AI to automate the heavy lifting in user research and audits. This one is especially really close to me because these activities are really huge, almost like a routine part of my design process. Before AI, the main challenge was simple, honestly. Most of this work had to be done manually. You would open 10 tabs, hunt for the right articles, collect context grain by grain, analyze and validate it, and only then package everything into a report or a clear recommendation. That's days, sometimes weeks of, like pure routine. And it wasn't just time consuming, it was expensive, honestly. A proper audit with solid research and a well-structured report could easily take around maybe like a week, sometimes even longer. And I want to share how I personally use AI when I'm running like a product audit. In my workflow, AI isn't just like a tool for generating text. It's a conversation partner. The best way to think about it is not like AI replaces this research, but AI becomes your teammate. One of the most common use cases in my work right now is an audit focused on UX gaps. During an audit, I actually keep a real dialogue with it. I talk through everything I'm noticing, what I don't like in the interface, where I feel confusion, which decision look questionable, and so on. And then we start discussing. I generate design initiatives on the spot and immediately pressure test them. The best part is that I can ask for proof. I will say, okay, justify this. And what can we base this decision on? And I get support from credible sources, for example, Nielsen Norman Group. And that changes the quality of the work completely. So, when we prepare a report for a client, it's not about like we think that this would be better. No, it becomes like this is supported by research. Here's the argument, here's the fact. And another powerful thing is that I can assign the AI a role. For example, like act like a senior lead designer, rely on NNG, use the up-to-date UX research, validate hypotheses, and suggest alternatives. At that point, it's not like just a chat. It's a simulation of professional design debate. We actually challenge each other. I can question its logic, and it can question my hypothesis. But there is also like a very practical side. AI speeds the process up dramatically. We don't need hours of manual validation for every hypothesis or dozens of tabs and articles to verify sources. We can get valuable insights in a few hours and deliver a strong evidence-based report the same day. So we win not only like in quality, we win in speed. And that's the main value of AI system for me, not just automation, but stronger thinking and faster decision making. Now, let me share a professional use case I rely on a lot for research-based audits. I often use a Google AI Studio, especially the real-time conversation feature. It lets me share my screen and think out loud while I review a product. I record what concerns me, but I also propose the solutions I'm already seeing and talk through alternatives in real time, while everything is captured on video. And what I like about Google AI Studio is that it can handle a large amount of context, especially video, and then we can continue discussion in live stream. But really quick note, you can do this with any tool you like. I use Google AI Studio because live screen sharing is perfect match for my workflow, but don't copy the tool, copy the approach. Find the feature that gives you the most value and build your process around them. It's very personal and depends really on your own experience.
And like, sorry for interrupting you, Pavlo. I was thinking about this AI estimate approach, and
Mhm.
like just some question, like I have some question to you. So, how do you personally, like, what do you personally pay the most attention during this AI estimate approach to keep results, reliable and high quality, and avoid this nonsense that AI can suggest as well?
Okay, got it. Got it. Give me a sec. I only want to think a bit. I guess one thing is really important for me during like this process. I don't want the AI to just agree with me. I wanted to challenge my assumptions, push back on my ideas, and suggest better options when I see them. That's where the real collaboration happens, and it helps me validate hypotheses and propose solution faster, even before we have started any redesign work.
Mm-hmm.
And in this case, we met like the next point where I wanted to add few more practical advices for you from my side, how to work with AI assistant so it actually gives you strong results. Number one, set a system instruction. Treat it like onboarding teammate. Give it a role, the rules, the context, and what you really expect from it. And number two, don't blindly trust it. Please don't blindly trust it because AI can still make mistakes. Most tools literally say that in their disclaimers. So always please validate and double check what you get. Think about it more as assist, not autopilot. And if you have a product, a system, or even specific area you would like to audit, just drop your contact details in the form below, as we mentioned before. We will gladly help you either optimize your audit process or run an audit with you and turn it into clear, actionable improvements.
Yes, don't hesitate to fill the form below. Okay, thank you, Pavlo, for this topic. I really like the AI treating AI like a teammate approach, because right now the real competitive advantages isn't just having AI, because everyone has AI, but it's how fast you can turn an idea to something real. It's how fast you can turn your concept into something really testable before you spend amount of money or time implementing it, building it.
Agree.
Thank you. Okay, so and that's what I want to focus on next. So our next topic, as you already see in the slide, rapid prototyping to get immediate user feedback and validate your product market fit. Okay, guys, so we have this beautiful slide here with some graphs, and I will go on to explain what's going here. So what do I mean by saying rapid prototyping, especially in 2026? So in simple terms, as I said before, it is the ability to turn the idea into some testable experience very fast. So not just pretty screens, but something that people can actually click through, react to, or give us any feedback. Earlier, we talked about this long pipeline, long process in traditional way. So when we spending days, months, and even years aligning everything, polishing everything very precisely, and only after that, only after all researching, designing, prototyping, developing phase, we finally put it in front of the users and ask, okay, do you need it, by the way? And the problem is that by the time you get your real first feedback, you have already invested a lot of time and a lot of money to this project. And the cost of the mistake was very big. But now we are speaking about the cost of the mistake is very low. And that's why we have this chance to iterate, to try to try more variants with the same effort. Okay, so as you can see, as we said before, the process has flipped a lot, and now we can run low-cost experiments, actually even without dev or QA team, or almost without them. So without big dev team, and make sure we're building what people actually need, not just our assumptions, So in this graph on the right side, in very high level way, I would like to visualize the cost of the mistake over the time. So you can see that early on the concept and prototype stage, changing direction is honestly very cheap. So if your idea will face failure here, the numbers is hypothetical for sure, but if your idea face failure here, you lose $1,000, yeah? But if your idea failed here, so this will be catastrophic. You lose team, money, idea, and what is the worst, that competitors already created that. So you lose the time of these advantages. You don't have it anymore. Yes, so the goal of rapid prototyping is very simple. So we just, it's like faster feedback equals a lower cost of change. And with AI-driven approach, we have this ability to try more, like and to get this feedback very quickly. Okay, so let's move on, and I would like to show you some real world context. So honestly, there are you can find on the internet maybe many other ways how you can use AI rapid prototyping. But if I look at how I actually use it in real life with real projects, real clients, businesses, it comes down to three main contexts. So this is not something that you need to do in a row. This is just three completely different contexts of using rapid prototyping. So the first one is product validation, which means just validate your idea, just validate your concept before investing money to this. The second one, we're speaking about when the product is already building. So this is not validation, the idea. This is, we change the research phase. We change the way how it works traditionally. So this is reverse process from working prototype to insights and to polished design. And the last one is user testing. Again, this is completely different context of the using rapid prototyping. So user scenario or user testing is when you need to do your user testing with real users. Yeah. So, and instead of spending hours for smart prototyping in Figma, how it was before, now we can prototype flows in minutes with several prompts. Okay, so let's dive into the first scenario more precisely and see what we have here. So the first one, as I said before, this says rapidly validate your idea or concept before you build anything. And this is the moment when your main question, like to understand is this your case or not. So the main question for you should not be what should our UI look or what features we need to have or something else, but this should be the question, does anyone actually need this? So this one question can save you weeks, months, and years of hours and your budget for sure. So there are two practical paths from my perspective, how you can use rapid prototyping in validating your idea. So the first option, if you are a technical or at least you have small team where someone is technical a bit, so you can ship a tiny MVP very quickly, put it in the market, collect some feedback, and come back with real data. So in this way, you will know what people did, where they dropped off, what they asked for, and the most important, are market ready to pay for this product, to pay for this idea? Are they ready for this or not? And so this is the first one, when you can actually build your product, give it to the market, and come back to other team of experts with some collecting data. And also we have another path. So another is for those people who are not really close to engineering and would not like to be. And also if, for example, the product you would like to create is too big for MVP no-code tools. Okay, so it will not actually test anything. So in this path, everything even is more simple. So you even don't need full MVP. Sometimes just a landing page, like a wait list or other fake door scenario, can fully cover your request. Because our goal here is not test the MVP, but is measure the demand. Is it exist or not? And then you can understand, if people click, sign up, request, have, if your waitlist is growing, so you can decide whether it is worth to invest in this idea or not. And then, as I said before, then you collect feedbacks and go to to some team who can build your real product, but at least you have the idea what market demands. Okay, so like this is the first use case when we just validate our concept, our idea of the business. So let's dive to another case, and here is, I think, more close to our scenario, because this one is very similar and very close to our day-to-day work. This specifically, rapid prototyping as part of research, the reverse process. So it is not about validating whether the product should exist or not. It is about accelerating the building process and making it more efficient. So in this scenario, you are already in your building project, product, whatever flow. And like every designer and maybe like product owner or whatever knows this situation, like the blank page issue. So when you have blank page, you just join the project, requirements are still not gathered, stakeholders describe the product just in words, you don't have some detailed specification. So the classic approach here was just start drawing wireframes, start drawing some diagram, architecture, and do everything manually in Figma. And then hoping that the logic becomes clear and clear along the way. So here is the twist we suggest, and that's why it calls like reverse process. So the idea is very simple. You feed an AI no code tool, whatever. In this example, it is Lovable because it is something that I used to work with, but it can be any other AI tool, doesn't matter. So you feed to the AI no code tool everything you already know about the project. So it can be your ideas, notes, specs. It can be even meeting transcript. It can be like some prompts, everything. If you have some architectural spec, it is even better. You just feed all documents, all ideas, everything to AI, and you start building this process, this draft together. And honestly, the word I like here is not prototyping, but drafting, because don't treat this approach as a final prototype. Treat in this way AI no-code instrument like you're syncing canvas for the first iteration. So this is not final design. This is just first iterations. And this step can happen instead of or in parallel with, and this is very like real scenario because this is what specifically we do right now in one of my project. So this can be in parallel with requirements clarification process. So it is just like accept this as fast way to align with stakeholders on the product logic, not visuals. So we're trying to clarify how the flow should actually work, what the level of hierarchy and other stuff. And it is more easier to understand and iterate the some gaps and mistakes specifically here, because you don't need to go and manually draw like for hours changing filter. You can change it by prompt and understand, is it are you looking for this one or another one? Okay, and what I would like to say in this approach more, that the first versions will probably have the wrong UX, wrong UI, and that is expected, by the way. But you know, the speed at which you can fix this wrong UX and UI right on the canvas is so incredible that you can iterate in minutes instead of drawing like in hours. And like one important nuance, this is what Pavlo said previously, but I also would like to add one more time, specifically in this approach, so this approach requires very strong and big design judgment, because AI no-code tools don't truly understand UX. They just understand the input you give them, yeah? And based on this input, they give you the output. So this is your responsibility for the UX, but treat it just like the hands that will draw your idea, something like that. Okay, and finally, like how we end with this approach. once the flow makes sense, once you already align with the client on this flow logic architecture, you move the polished version into the Figma. So in this reverse approach, Figma is where everything becomes clean and polished and consistent, and AI no-code instrument is just the draft canvas. So this is where is mind-blowing, because usually we have a lot of drafts and options in Figma, and then we polished it in with the UI AI no-code instrument. And one more, I know I speak a lot, so one more thing I would like to add, that this approach is a bit experimental. So not every designer loves it, and not every client can understand it. And that's why you should feel because you are into your project, and you are the one who is responsible of this pipeline. You are the one who needs to suggest this approach if you see that this will enhance and improve your traditional pipeline. Okay, so we are almost here. One more case left. So yeah, thank you for your attention one more time. And let's review the last case for rapid prototyping, and this is user testing. So what it says, prototype flows in minutes, not hours in Figma. Here we can see how it was before. Yeah. Oh, one more time, I would like to firstly elaborate a bit about the context. So in this point, this is again not validating the business idea. This is not like you're drafting stuff to align with logic with client. This is just very typical scenario for every designing. So you already are building the product. You have design system, you have real screens, development even can already be in progress. Yeah, but you need to test some specific flows with real users to confirm or reject some of your hypotheses. So it can be checkout flow, some error logic, recovery state, everything. So this is completely another context. One more time, this is for user testing, not validating, not aligning, user testing. And the key thing that should be must have for user testing from my perspective, to keep UI context. So you need to keep UI consistency when you do user testing, because sometimes you even need to test some UI stuff. So sometimes you need just to test bottoms. So if the bottom will not be aligned with our design, you cannot test it properly. You cannot test the color, the shape, the readability of this bottom, and so on. And this is the issue we had before, that no-code instruments actually they they change UI, yeah, and that's why it was difficult to provide user testing with no-code instruments, because it changed UI and you miss the context. You cannot rely on this results. And and that's why I would like to recommend you specifically Figma Make, because it works on top of the existing Figma designs and helps you keep UI consistency, so which really matters for UI, user testing, as I said before. And here you can see how it was before. So this is actually, I don't know if everyone is our designers in chat, but designers can understand our pains. So
Yeah.
yes, so this is how the Figma frames looks before, because you need to actually link every screen, every CTA, every link, everything manually. Yeah, so this is very routine and not very interesting process, but you need to do this. And now you can just, because again, as I said, Figma Make based on the Figma, so you can just put your screen in flow, paste some prompt and connect the screens very quickly with one prompts in one reasonable flow. Again, this is AI instrument, so not everything will work with one prompt. Yeah, sometimes you need more, but what advantages I see, not only saving the time, yeah, with this manual work, but also because with this you can honestly have more reliable result in your user testing, because you can test some scenarios and edge cases which we just miss in manual prototyping, because you cannot prototype each one, you cannot type in your input, but here you can actually see how user used your inputs and you can test it. Okay, so in this moment, I would like maybe let's try how it will look like in real life. Let's try to create.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes, let's try to create flow right away. So can you see my prepared screen for testing?
That's perfect. Yeah, we see.
Okay, super. So I will give you a bit of context. So I already prepared some screens, just very rapidly show you how it works in like real life. So you need just create, like you have, it is not something you need to prepare. Yeah, you just have your screen if you are like designing some screens. Yeah, so you have these screens and your objective is to test, for example, here, the objective is to test adding friends. So you would like to see how easily people can like see the friends, like friends section here. If they understand, they need to click here, how they will like use the input and so on. So I already prepared this screen, and also I already like prepare some prompt. So let's see how it will work. Okay, 1 second.
Yeah, well, Daria, while we're waiting for quick presentation demo, I got a really interesting question from our chat, and people are really interesting about will this Figma MCP, well, not Figma MCP, will this Figma Make feature replace classic prototyping skills in Figma?
Okay, like really very interesting question. So I think okay, so I think yes. It can be a bit scary, but yes. So Figma Make, not only Figma Make, in future maybe other tools. So yes, AI can replace replace prototyping, designer prototyping skill, but this is a big nuance that prototyping skill is not user testing skill. Yeah, so what is prototyping? It's very routine stuff. You just link the screens. Yeah, so it will for sure like replace you in this, but not in providing user testing, because prototype without like user testing doesn't have any sense. And you still will be the person who are responsible for user testing, for like validating it, for gathering feedback, for like moderating the user in this user testing, for creating objections, flows, and so on. So yes, it will replace, but it is not that thing that we need to worry about.
Oh, okay, so nice, great point.
I prepared some, as I said before, like I prepared some screen, and like already explained the flow to you, and then you just click by one, by one button, move everything to Figma Make. So this is already in your Figma. You don't need any other tool or something like that. And then you just like put some like prompt. Like my prompt was like connect this in one adding friends scenario, like link these screens, so on. And for sure, like as I said before, nothing can be like perfect and work just in one click. Sometimes it will generate ideal scenario just in one prompt, but sometimes you need 2, 3. But nevertheless, even with all these like prompts, it is more faster than doing it manually. So as I showed before, this like screens, now we can actually test how it works. So what we needed from this tool, we need to keep our UI. Does it keep our UI? Yes. So we can see that the branding is followed, which is very important for like for user testing, as I said before. Then I like click friends, then I click add friends, and that is another advantage that I like shared with you previously. So with this, why this is better just than the manual prototype, because here you have real, like, as you can see, so I'm as user, this is not real product, but I'm still have ability to actually type and actually see how it works. Yeah. Okay. So we select the null peers, for example, we send invitation. Wow. And we see the pop-up. So this is another scenario. So to keep it consistent for all of your use cases and to create, all of this pattern with push notifications and so on in real, manual prototyping is a bit difficult, because you cannot just because it's time consuming, honestly, and also you cannot have in mind all of these scenarios. Yes, but with this tool you can ask AI to create this real scenario, so create real feedback from your UI, from your interface. And with this you can be more close to real scenarios when users use their product in their app or like in desktop than when it is fake, like clickable prototype in Figma. So I think that all of you already know the disadvantages of this.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, nice.
Super. And like the last one, just very high levelly, I also collected different tools which can be useful for you in different projects, like in this different context I previously said. So you can explore it by yourself, but my preferences here is like Lovable, V0 and Figma Make, but also you can explore all other tools that we have.
Oh, yeah, it's really such a good one topic. I generally love rapid prototyping with AI because it matches the real pace of product teams, All right, moving to our next topic is accelerating the design development pipeline with Figma MCP in action. For years, I remember clients asking for the same magic pill. We already have the design. How do we turn into code faster and hand it to developers without losing quality? And here on the screen, we see like this magic pill, which our clients always wanted. And honestly, we tried a lot of design to code tools over the years, and most of them didn't really deliver what teams expected. Too many mismatches, too much cleanup, and too many edge cases. But then, through years, Figma finally addressed this properly with something called the Figma MCP server. MCP stands for Model Context Protocol. Is basically a standard that lets AI coding tools pull real context from products to like Figma instead of guessing from screenshots. If I keep it super simple, Figma MCP helps turn design into code without mind reading. Before, there was a lot of guessing and manual work, inspecting layouts, checking styles and spacing, asking what font is this, or which token is that. With MCP, the AI and the developer can pull this information directly from Figma, straight from the components and the design system. So who is for? It's for designers and developers who work closely together and want less friction during hands-off. What is it speed up the first UI implementation and alignment as a case, and what it improves? Honestly, accuracy, reusability, and consistency, because everything is driven by design. All right, let me explain how this works in practice in a very simple flow. First, you have your design ready in Figma. Then you enable the MCP server in Figma, usually in dev mode. You can see how it looks on the white screenshot above. After that, you open your development environment. For example, it can be like Visual Studio Code, Cursor, or Claude, or whatever you like to use. And you connect it to that MCP server. And as far as you can see, it's like on a screenshot below. All necessary things, how you can plug into your environment system, are available on the Figma official support website. And one is connected, your AI coding assistant can really see the real Figma context, not just, like a screenshot you provide, but the actual structure, its components, styles, variables, and spacing rules. And from there, the workflow is straightforward, really straightforward. You select the screen or component in Figma, go to your AI assistant in your IDE and prompt it, like, for example, build this screen in our stack, real, tailwind, whatever you use, and follow the design system tokens. The assistant generates a first version of the code, and then you iterate it, honestly, fix small details, ask for alternative implementations, or generate the next screen. The big win is that the first draft is much, much closer to the design because it's based on the real Figma data, not like the guesswork. But one quick note for everyone, really important note: don't try to dump the entire context into one massive prompt. When the prompt gets too big, the assistant can get confused, start hallucinating, and drift away from what actually is the design. A better approach is to work in smaller, clearer iterations, give it tight scope, be very specific, and generate the result, and then move to the next piece. And after that, you will get much more accurate output that way. And the second important point, this only works well if the design file is prepared properly. Your layout should be structured with auto layout. Naming should be clean, and the file should be organized in a really close way to how frontend is built. Also, make sure that your colors, typography, and components are linked to your design system, because Figma MCP and AI Assistant will read those tokens and reuse them across screens. And that's what keeps the code consistent as you scale.
You know what, Pavlo?
What?
Yeah, I thought that we have result of our poll already. So thank you for.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Honestly, I forgot about our poll at the beginning, but thank you that you remind me about it.
Yes. So, what can I say, guys? So now we can see together that almost 60% of like all of you, didn't implement or partially implement the AI in your everyday workflow. So it means that we are like looking forward in the same
Way, yeah.
direction. And what else? It is just one more way to like feel free to reach out us, to like fill the form, to connect with us. And you know what, if you are like shy to connect a manager on LinkUp, you can always connect me or Pavlo directly in
Yeah, sure.
in LinkedIn, and we will be happy to discuss AI like more deeply.
Perfect. Yeah, it sounds nice. Really, a really good result.
Super. Okay, good, but can be better.
Of
Okay.
course.
Okay, guys, so let's move on. And no, you are a bit tired now. We are too. But yeah, last topic. And honestly, this is scaling marketing output with AI-assisted content generation, as you can see in my slide. And honestly, it is not the main focus of today's webinar. So all like big and really important topics are already completed. But I still wanted, this is not our main focus, also because like we are UI UX and development agency, not marketing one. Yeah. So in this sphere, we will focus only on our experience. So how we use it. And this experience can be different from like other designer, which is more graphic oriented. Okay. But finally, I still would like to add this topic in our agenda, just because, the entry barrier is so low now and the impact is so immediate. So this is just will be the crime to skip this, this topic. And let's see more, let's quickly review how specifically AI actually can help you with your marketing visual production, like in very practical way. So where specifically AI can help you, like speaking in marketing visual topic. So again, it honestly it can help you in like bunch of topics and areas, but from my perspective there are three areas where AI gives the biggest lift, again in our experience. So the first one is a creative variant for testing. So as you can see, like create bunch of variants for marketing is very important. So this is key because you would like to test different audience, different like regions, different ages, and so on. And this is always this is always challenge for designer to having one content, like one title, one visual, and so on, like one target for creative, create bunch of them, because this is just, you know, you already put so many effort on one, and then you can create 10 another one. So that's where I can see AI can help you. So specifically, this option was created in Variants AI tool, and also it can be used not only for marketing but with the AI widget as well. So I already like implemented this in my everyday workflow, and it helps me a lot. Okay, so let's review the second one. The second one is brand scaling. So again, as I think everyone knows, that design process can include like something very repetitive and routine, and something more excited, ideation, researching, and so on. So saying brand scaling, it doesn't replace the core branding work, because you need to create this brand, but to adapt the brand system to thousands, like dozens of assets, this is something that AI could do, honestly, because this is very boring and repetitive. So yeah, this is just some example of how it can work. And like the last one, honestly, my favorite for now, because in my recent project, we already implemented this AI advantages. So this is promo and video animation. And so what does it mean? So we can turn product screens into short promo video, simple UI animation inside your app, like social ready clips. Also, we can create even some promo reels for investors, which is very important for startups, very easily. And for sure, I know that video creating with AI can have a lot of glitches, artifacts, and so on. So we are not speaking about you know, all of these marketing AI-driven tools, they are okay. But for example, if your main feature in the product is video, so okay, AI cannot help you. Can help you, but cannot change you in this project. But for example, if it is some side work, so if it is something that can support your app, for example, in my use case, we added animated reward into the some mobile sport game, and previously it was not even possible for MVP, but now you can do it in a few days. And these, like, you know, small interaction animations, they are very important to hook users. So it is something that can be differentiate you among like thousands of other competitors. Okay, so this is three main use cases, as I said before, but there are a lot of bunch of other places where AI helps marketing team move faster. So these things, some generating mascots, characters, speeding up investor and pitch deck materials, producing in-app visuals, storytelling assets, resizing content. So resizing, it is also the big issue for all like graphic designers, like localization, tone adaptation. So everything like of this can be optimized, not done, but optimized with your design vision. It can be optimized with AI.
Perfect. Sounds great.
Super. And like one last thing that I I think very important, and I would like to add it from specifically my perspective and how I see it. So generally, when we talk about business specifically, yeah, we always accept AI as just a way to produce faster, a way to produce more, faster, and so on. But honestly, it unlocks things you would normally skip early because they feel too expensive, too slow, or not worth it. And those details are often what give a product its unique signature instead of looking like generic template. Yeah. So now with AI, you can create custom mascot. You can, as I said, add animated rewards. You can have stronger promo story. You can create set of creatives specifically for each like target audience. So the kind of work you used to skip before because you were focused on more important feature heavy stuff, now you can not skip this. So just not accept the AI just like accelerator tool, but also like more ability tool. So now you have ability to communicate with user, something that you would like communicate in like previously too, but just you didn't have ability to do this. Yeah, so AI lowers the barrier to entry. And that's why we can do more, we can do bolder, faster, and like don't hesitate to use it. What
Well,
the last word can I say? Yes, Pavlo.
yes, it was powerful, honestly. It's super powerful and a really great opportunity. So, okay, generally, we have covered everything we planned for the webinar. Huge thanks for being here. And honestly, thank you for your energy and activity in the chat. It's been really amazing. And
Yeah.
I can see a lot of questions have come in. So let's switch into a quick Q&A session. We will grab a few questions from the chat and go through them together. So let's check what we have for now.
Okay, I see a very interesting question related to my
Yep,
topic. So
nice.
yeah, I think I can answer it. Okay, so the question, how do you decide which prototype approach to use? Like landing page versus no-code reverse process versus Figma Make? Okay, this is very interesting, and this is some misunderstanding, I believe, because as I said before, this is not different approach. Yeah, so okay, let's do this or let's do this. This is different context. So when you need to provide user testing, because you already have the product, it is like 1 month to release. Yeah, so you go with Figma Make. It is, you cannot go with like validation, like your landing page or something like that, because you already validate your idea, you are on the process, and like you just need to go to Figma Make. Okay, so answering this question, I will like answer in this way. I choose based on the objective I have. So based on the questions the business try to answer in that moment. So if the question is demand, so do people want this? Like generally, do they want this? Do they like my idea? So in this way, you can use first approach, not even approach like first context. Yeah, first context of approach. So you use landing page, wait list, fake door scenarios. So another question, if the question is aligning on logic and requirements with stakeholders or product owners or whatever, yeah, so how should this flow work? What these states should mean. Do we need filter here or not? How input, like how search, it should be dynamic search or not? So all of this stuff. So you go to the second approach, which is reverse process with no code builder. And again, about user testing, I have already answered.
Nice, thank you. Thank you, guys,
Thank you.
for this question. I want to take into my hand like the next question that is connected to my topic. Does Figma MCP mean developers won't need handoff anymore, or is it just another tool that generates messy code? Nice, it's a good one. Thanks. Figma MCP is not about like replacing developers or eliminating handoff. The real value is that it removes like this guesswork. Instead of AI generating code from a screenshot, it can read the real Figma context. So the first draft is much closer to the Figma design. but you still need to engineering decisions. You need to create architecture, state management, take into account performance and edge cases. And as you remember, I mentioned during this topic, the best way to use the MCP is iteratively. Start with one screen or component, generate a clean baseline, and then extend. Used that way, it genuinely speeds up implementation and reduces back and forth without pretending it's one click like production code. I hope that I answered on your question. Thank you.
Thank you, Pavlo. And like we are almost we are lack of time, so only one question more, and I have already found it. So this is very interesting because about like experiment method, I suggested before. So the question is, in the reverse process research, how do you stop stakeholders from treating the AI draft at the final design? Okay, this is actually very real scenario question, because it is something that even I worry about when I start when I think, do I need to implement this or not? So as I mentioned before, this approach is not for everyone. You need to read the client and the project context to understand, is this actually worth to use it or not? Because some team love experimental models, some don't love, some team big businesses and some small startups. So it is your responsibility to understand where you can follow this approach. And one more life hack from my side. So now, and honestly, always just communicate with the client. Yeah, so you can always just say with your mouth that this is not a production AI, this is just some kind of thinking canvas. But one life hack from my side, always add to your prompt when you're working with this scenario, add to your prompt to do your UI a bit ugly, or maybe not ugly, but to not polish it. So for example, you can just add the prompt, make all colors just natural color, just black and white, or maybe like blue and white, something like that. So in that way, it is easier for client to not approach this draft as a final polished design. Thank you again for the question.
Okay, I think we are good for today. Thank you for the questions and for the energy in the chat. It was really great to have you with us. And if you think of something later, you're always welcome to drop a request in the form, or just keep in touch with us online. You can scan QR codes, jump to our LinkedIn, and let's stay connected. So thanks, everyone. See you. Hope we see you next time, and bye-bye.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Yes, bye-bye. Happy to see you.